I know the meaning of life, it doesn't help me a bit, but I know beauty and I know a good thing when I see it. Yes, we're back. Unfinished business. We have unfinished business here on the Micklehurst loop just outside Ashton. If you remember, last time I was here, it was about October-ish, November last year. Was it? Or was it January? I can't remember. Anyway, there was things that I couldn't find and I got beaten back by a tunnel. I'm back this time. I brought the heavy mob with me, Connor, literally. We're social distancing as much as we can. And we're going to try and find the things that we missed last time. So let's go and carry out, let's go and finish this unfinished business. Okay, so where are we this week? Well, we're to the east of Manchester. Ashton-under-Lyne is the nearest town, and you've got Stalybridge there, and we're in the area where it says Heyrod. That's the area that we're exploring. We've been here before. You may remember the old goods shed up there, and you may remember the coal conveyor, which you've seen in the aerial footage at the start of this video. So there you go, that's the original video we made. It was about the old Hartshead power station. And all the infrastructure that's still there, and in that very tunnel that you see there, we got beaten back by that very deep mud that you see just behind me. At the end of that tunnel is a room with a coal hopper in, and I was desperate to get to the end of that tunnel and look at the old coal hopper. And unfortunately we got beaten back by the mud because it got deeper and deeper, and it was bubbling and stinking with all sorts of gas. So I suppose this video is basically one man's revisit to a place that beat him the first time. Okay, so just to further recap, this image was got for us by Connor, Urbex UK, a beautiful image taken with his drone. So thank you, Connor. Anyway, I want you to get your head around this idea of this valley. In the foreground there, you've got the railway goods shed, and the long thing is the coal conveyor. The trees belie what it used to be because this was a very industrial area. There would have been a railway yard there near the goods shed, and coal was dropped off at the railway yard, and it was sent over on the coal conveyor over to the opposite side of the valley where the red X is now, to a power station, Hartshead power station, that closed about 1979 and was pulled down in the late 80s. So as you can see, the power station has long since gone, but the coal was sent over the valley on that coal conveyor. And the area that we're concerned with is the area around the goods shed. Right, so what was the railway line? The railway line was called the Micklehurst Loop. Here it is. Okay, so this map is taken from an excellent resource, Rail Maps Online. And there's the Micklehurst Loop. It's the purple line there near the pink arrow, and you can see it runs almost parallel to the current red main line. The pink arrow shows the area where we're exploring today, but I just wanted to show you that purple line because that is the old Micklehurst Loop where the trains used to come along and drop coal off for Hartshead Power Station. Take a look at this old map and I'll show you the area again on the old maps. So there you go, we're looking on top of the valley there now. Again, you'll see the pink arrow pointing to the old goods shed that is still standing, and you'll see the collection of lines there that denotes that it was a little yard, a railway yard. Look to the left across the valley where the blue circle is, that's where the power station eventually got built. So I'm going to show you an old picture now. This is a brilliant picture courtesy of Timepix UK. This is August 1952, I think it says on the sign there. You'll see top far right, you'll see the goods shed, which is still standing. You'll see the overhead coal conveyor, the high level one. Part of that is still standing. But lower down the valley, you'll see a lower coal conveyor or a lower conveyor that buries itself into the hillside. That is what we're concerned with in this video. Now, where it buries itself into the hillside, the actual that conveyor has long since gone. So what is left of where it entered into that hillside underneath the goods shed? Well, take a look at this. Amazingly, in the hillside is where that old lower level conveyor went into the ground, and there it is, a twisted, mangled wreck, and there's access to the original tunnel. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip back to the previous video where we entered that tunnel, and don't forget at the end of there is this room with a coal hopper in. So we entered that tunnel and tried to get to that room where the coal hopper is, and we were beaten back by the mud in that video. We proper struggled. Now, I have heard that there's another access to that coal hopper room, some stairs in the woods. But let me just show you this recap to the original video where we had to abort the mission.
So we're being careful because what we're walking in there, we're sinking a fair old bit there. Maybe walk towards the edge. I've had one encounter in wood this week.
Yeah. I'm really good.
Oh, yeah. This is not good.
I'm stuck.
That stinks. That is so bad.
I can't believe how much that went down.
Yeah.
So, as you can see in that video that you can go and watch on my channel, we failed. We failed to get down to the end of that tunnel, and we failed to get a look at that hopper. So I'm back, and I'm back to finish off the business and try and get a closer look at that hopper. And this time, I'm armed with something. An all-terrain tunnel probing device. Yes, you guessed it. This time, I've come back with Tank Rover.
So, sweating. So, here we are. Do you remember this spot in the woods? The little collapsed tunnel, if you remember that, down there. That's what beat us back last time. So I found it again, because it's a bugger to find. So we need to go in there, see how far Tank Rover can go, and see if we can get any pictures of the, I'm pretty sure it's a hopper at the other end. Failing that, we might have to go and find this set of steps in the woods that go down to the hopper area. Anyway, let's go and have a look, see what we can do in here with Tank Rover. I'm about to climb in amongst the, I've been in once to put Tank Rover in there, amongst the spiders and the flies. Right, here we go. You might as well get all this. You sit there in the comfort of your own home. It's a bit loose. If I look at the spiders, I'd never go in.
Levi's, not a sponsor.
Oh.
I'm 6 foot, so I won't fit in there.
Oh my god. Right, I'm in. That amazing echo's here again. Oh, come here. Right, got you. I'll try and get some lights on in here. This doesn't look good because it's full of mud. And I don't think Tank Rover's going to do brilliantly in the mud. I know it's a tank, but it won't do great in the mud. Right, okay, we'll give it a try, see how far we can get. But further down there is a load of water, and I can't get Tank Rover through the water, so we'll see how far we can go. back as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It starts to dig in. And the further it goes up there, the less retrievable it is. Right, that was a total failure. That was a total failure. Tank Rover was caught straight away in the mud. It just wouldn't cope with that mud. If you remember last time I came, I don't know if you watched that video, me and Ant started to get stuck in that very, very deep mud. Tank Rover is having the same problem. I can hear what you're saying. It's not much of a tank, is it? And you're right. But it is a toy at the end of the day with the camera mounted on it. So Tank Rover's failed. So I'm sorry I failed you. Tank Rover ain't going to cope with this tunnel. And it's such a long way and it's getting stuck here, and the further it goes down there the less retrievable it is, and I don't want to lose Tank Rover in the mud down there and not be able to get it back. So we've failed. We've failed. We can't get a shot of what's down there, and I know there's a hopper down there, so we'll just have to walk round and try and find the entrance in the woods to it. Let's see if we can find the entrance in the woods. But sorry folks, on this occasion Tank Rover didn't come up with the goods. Oh. Why do I do it? I thought it would have dried out a lot more than what it has done with it being so warm recently. Right, so obviously this was a railway line. This was a yard where the guys are behind me. Over here we have a bit of a lodge and stuff, but we're going to walk down here because I think there's some railway remains behind the camera. Right, so I found what I was looking for. We ended up walking up the wrong side, but this is obviously railway related, I think. There's something here. Looks like it's some sort of old platform level. I'm not saying this was a station, because when you look at the old map, there shouldn't be a station here. The station was further down there. Let's take a look inside there, don't we? Can't quite make out what that was. Whether it was a complete building at one time, I don't know. So I don't know what this is at all. Obviously railway related maybe, because the height, you see with Connor there, the height is probably platform height. Whether this was a halt or something, some kind of shed, difficult to know, because there's nothing, like I say, on the old maps. It was built though in the sort of like after about 1920. A lot of my old maps don't show stuff, so it may well have been the case that it's been built later, but it's definitely railway related. So we think it's not a station though. I'm pretty certain it's not a station. because there was never a station at this bit here. The contrast from the other video I did where I was at the Cheesden Brook and all those remains had no graffiti on whatsoever, and obviously this is more in a kind of a, it's not as far out this place, it's more close to a built up area, so you know the youngsters have been here doing things. Is he up?
He's actually up.
It is now.
Bit of a makeshift stair here, so look at it.
It's safe, trust me.
You sure?
100%.
There's a big gap there then, isn't
I
there?
bet your life is safe. You've got to put your feet on that. When you get to
I
the
can see me
top,
getting so far up and then bobbing out. Ah.
That's rookie mistake, that Bob.
What?
I'm joking. You've got to put your foot on that beam. Would you like some human hands?
No, it's alright.
Good, because the top last person I was holding on to, so.
Problem I have these days is I can't bend my legs.
Just don't stand on the slats, because they might, you know what I mean, just go quick. And then we'll have a Martin smoothie.
What passes the camera mark?
So forgive me for acting like a stupid, unruly teenager and climbing on things, but there's not a great deal up here, to be honest with you. But as we walk towards the edge, you do get a nice view of that little outbuilding that we looked at just a moment ago. All this stuff in the woods. But we'll turn the camera around now and we'll head back down the treacherous makeshift steps from whence we came.
Oh, you could catch your arse on that. That's why.
Right, so last time I was here, I got told off because I missed one of the towers. There's sort of all sorts of lighting towers here. They almost look like lookout towers, but I'll try and get this for you and show you. Another bit of old railway reliquary. Railway Arna, they call it on eBay, don't they? Clearly that was something to do with this area where we are now. Now there's a few of these in this woods. So did that have lighting on it? Did somebody stand up there? Not quite sure. Right, so I'm just this side of the goods shed here now. Goods shed's there if you can see it. All sorts of things here, all sorts of clues to things that went on. Don't know what that was. Metal. So last time I didn't come this far. Look at this. Look at the iron there on the corner of the entrance. That is some plate, that, isn't it? That is some plate, I'm telling you. And obviously we've been in there. We've had a walk around there, so I won't do that again. I know if you've not watched that video, it's I made it a few months ago. Right, I've aborted one route because it's hellishly overgrown. So I think I need to go slightly wider of the mark. I know there's people out there that have found this place and have been in it, but it's a bugger. I'm on tenterhooks to find it, and yes, we've found it. Here's the clue. So we've got concrete here, I've stood on concrete, And here we've got a rail. Look at this. We've actually got an old rail and some kind of mechanism there. Now I wonder if the trucks come up to here and stop there, and that's some sort of catch mechanism. I'm not sure, but we've found it. It's been took some stick there, hasn't it? So whether the hoppers come shunting up to there, and there's another hole there. Just get a closer look for you. There's another hole there. Where the catch is there, what looks like a catch in the rails. I'm wondering if there was some sort of hollow underneath it where the coal was released and dropped down underneath us. Because if you look at where we stood here, we stood on like a concrete plinth. This is what I've heard about, this is what I missed last time. This is why we're here. Steps in the woods. So we're on a concrete plinth. I presume this is where the coal was dropped underneath here. I've showed you the mechanism behind the camera. I'm going to walk down here and see what's underneath here, because apparently it looks like a dead end, but it isn't. Got the big torch. Let's go and take a look. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Do you want to come with me?
Oh, Jesus. You just go in, right to end, and let us know it's right for you.
So obviously we've got some fittings there on the side of the wall. And look at that, what does that say? Something Derby. Limited Derby. Oh, that might be who made the concrete, eh? Maybe. A light, and then on we go. Ooh. Wow. Wow. And again, we've got some sort of cable run there. Oh wow. Oh wow. Right, we found it. This is exactly what I wanted to find. I've read about this place, but it's well tucked away in the woods. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is because I don't want anyone to come down here and get hurt. But we've got a long tunnel that way, which is, I think is the tunnel we got bogged down in last time. Behind me is an old hopper. I presume the coal was dropped into that. I can't work out where it went. It's difficult to work out where it went. I'll show you up there because there's kind of like a blocked off passageway there. And behind that way is a passageway there. If you can just turn the camera around there, Matt. And you'll see the girder in there. And see how it's going to the top. Of course, I'm actually walking in thick, filthy, horrible mud here. Stinking mud. And you'll see it's completely flooded. And imagine it gets worse than this when there's been a lot of rainfall. Flooded. As you can see, it's filled with water.
And there you go, we're finally at the opposite end of that tunnel, that formidable mud-filled stinking tunnel that I got beaten back by and that thwarted Tank Rover, but finally we made it to the hopper room. And there at the end you can just see the collapse that we entered into at the beginning of this video.
Right, so I'm going to head on back out now, back into the woods. I'll show you the way we came. Wow. Wow, coming up into the heat, it's very strange. Right, I'm really chuffed that I found that. It's fantastic, and you wouldn't know it was here. But what a place that was. The business is finished. We found it. Connor's still down there. I think he's still getting all his shots. I hope he is. Hope he's still alive. He's still alive down there. Yeah. Ah, it's like another entrance there, doesn't it? Oh, this must be part of it.
It's amazing just how much infrastructure and workings are still left around this area. To me, that ladder poking up suggests that this was much deeper and it's been filled in quite a bit. Don't know what this is again, perhaps some sort of entrance. Your guess is as good as mine.
So there you go, unfinished business. We've managed to solve it now. So we took a look at the tunnel and then actually found where the hopper was and went down in there, and we found these railway buildings. Not quite sure what they are. As much as possible, we've tried to socially distance, but the weather's beautiful and we're getting out and about now. Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you very much, Connor. Connor's doing a video on this, Urbex UK. Check him out. And I shall see you very soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.